You found yourself on another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, and on today's episode, the Chicago Bulls got 74 rebounds in a double overtime thriller against the Cleveland Cavaliers, while Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets outpower the Sacramento Kings. We got a lot to talk about right here on Let 'Em Know Kings United. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the post-game reaction podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. This is Let 'Em Know Kings United. Let 'em know, nation, you already know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Let 'em Know Kings United, your Cleveland Cavaliers, Chicago Bulls, and Sacramento Kings post-game reaction podcast. And I'm your host, Darla Weisberg. Thank you so much for tuning into today's program. You can find this show, which is absolutely free and available on your favorite podcast app like Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, and iHeartRadio. You can also find it on my YouTube channel, NJHawk40. If you are watching this show on YouTube, go ahead and do me a favor. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it. Hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a nice comment down below. Give the show a follow on those platforms if you can. Please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. It is an amazing way to support the podcast, and I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. And before I get into it, I want to thank each and every one of you, the members of Let 'Em Know Nation, because now, or as of right now, Let 'Em Know Kings United has surpassed 500 plays. Of course, it was Let 'Em Know Kings at first, then Let 'Em Know Kings at the 313. Now it's Let 'Em Know Kings United, and next season going forward, it's going to be Let 'Em Know Mavs at the 305, but the content remains the same. To those of you that listen to this show since day one, or you're a new listener, I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of the 500 plays that this show has received. I love each and every one of you so much, and it truly means a lot. With that being said, let's get right into it. And why the hell do the Chicago Bulls do this? Why the hell do they do this? They came off one of the worst performances in franchise history. Not just for this season, okay? The game that the Bulls played against the Detroit Pistons was one of the worst games in franchise history. But what do they do to respond? They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers not only in one overtime, but then took two overtimes, 132 to 123, in a game that they set a season high for rebounds. 74 rebounds. 74 rebounds. Like, why the hell do you do this? Why the hell do you do this, Chicago? Somebody explain this to me. You lay the biggest egg in franchise history the night before against Detroit, and then you suddenly finally learn how to play competitive basketball against the Cleveland Cavalier team, who was one of the best teams in the NBA this season since the turn of the calendar. I mean, how pathetic is this Bulls franchise? I'm not happy about this win at all. I'm not happy about it. On hindsight, I'm really happy about the 74 rebounds. I'm really happy that Vooch, Andre Drummond, DeMar DeRozan got a double-double. But what I am not happy about is we should have done this crap against the Detroit Pistons the night before. Not against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are a good team. Give the Cavaliers credit. They're a good team. But for Chicago, I'm just not happy because you couldn't do this the night before against the Detroit Pistons, who, by the way, you shot 7% from three. I'm going to keep saying that till the cows come home. How embarrassing is this Bulls franchise? I'm not going to take away the fact that we won, but I just wish you'd done that consistently. I feel like the Bulls play up to the competition against the Cavs, against the Celtics, against the Lakers, against the Pacers of the world, but against winnable teams like the Spurs, Pistons, Wizards, among 3 teams, maybe Memphis, you play down to the competition. And I've seen it. I've seen the Bulls play games against the Memphis Grizzlies in games that they should have blew them out. I only saw one complete 60 or 48 minute, this isn't football, a complete 48-minute game that the Bulls played all year. You want to know what that game was? It was against the Utah Jazz in the beginning of the freaking year. Since then, the Bulls don't know how to play a complete 48 minutes. Not at all. We want to play down to the competition and then suddenly rise up when good teams come. It's not competitiveness. It's not being competitive. It's being complacent and being just continually pathetic. I hate being a Debbie Downer. I hate talking about this after a win. But I'm not satisfied about it at all because the Bulls should learn how to play this style of basketball against teams that you're supposed to beat. Now, with that being said, DeMar DeRozan, he stepped up big time, 35 points. Nikola Vucevic, 13 rebounds, 24 points. Andre Drummond, he is the only guy on this team that showed some freaking heart. 26 rebounds. 26! Vooch had 13 rebounds. Now, I will say this. Nikola Vucevic, he has improved. He has improved recently. I'll give Vooch that. I'll give Vooch credit for that. But the only thing that I don't like about Voochie, man, he continues to shoot threes even though he's terrible at shooting threes. I mean, if he could stay with the mid-range, if he could stay with the float game, if he could stay getting shots in the paint, then maybe we might not have this discussion. And Vooch could just continue to be vintage Vooch. But with that being said, though, I love the fact that the Bulls absolutely dominated the glass, especially Andre Drummond. They set an NBA high this season with 74 rebounds. When was the last time you saw a game that a team had 70 rebounds in the game? I never seen it. Hell, I haven't seen it in a regular season game before. Or I haven't seen it in a overtime game before, let alone double overtime. I guess it was history being made to some extent. But damn. Can the Bulls just do this against teams that they're supposed to beat? Drummond said it just speaks to this team. We continue to fight. We gave a good fight. Last game, we let our guard down a little bit. Now, let me stop you right there. A little bit, Andre Drummond? You couldn't damn shoot. This Bulls team the night before couldn't shoot for the life of them. And you said you let your guard down a little bit? Nah, you let your guard down a lot because you got out-coached and you got outplayed by the sorry Detroit Pistons. With that being said, though, we knew that we did wrong. Tonight, we played a team that was very high in the standings and came out ready to play. Now, Drummond, I like hearing you say that, but damn. You could have done this against teams that are in the bottom of the standings. You could have done this against teams that you're supposed to beat. Why is it that it has to take one of the best teams in the East right now to force the Chicago Bulls to rise up? I don't get that. I really don't get that. And on a second night of a back-to-back too, now the Bulls, they came out with a little motivation. I will give them that. They were motivated due to the embarrassment. But the Cavs, I'll say this. You played a high-energy game the night before against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavs. Not easy, I know. Max Strus hit the shot of the year. The shot of the year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you just got outworked. You got outworked and you got hustled in the glass. I can put it that simple than that. That's simple than that. Evan Mobley was the only guy that showed up for Cleveland. Now, Donovan Mitchell, he had a quiet night with 19 points. Not expect that from him. Darius Garland, he had a really great game. 23 points, making a 7-14 from threes. Stacey King said on the Bulls broadcast that he was coming into this game with a heavy heart due to the passing of his grandmother. And let me tell you something. He made his grandma proud with his effort the other night before. I will give Darius Garland a lot of credit for playing this game with a heavy heart. That takes a lot of toughness. That takes a lot of toughness and perseverance. I respect Darius Garland for that. But the Cavs came up short after winning 12 of their last 15 games. Evan Mobley about the loss said, we had opportunities this season. We just got to capitalize. Sometimes games don't go your way, so you got to learn from them and try to do better for the next games. And what do we see the Cavs play next? The Detroit freaking Pistons. Hey, Cleveland, do something that the Bulls didn't learn how to do. Just dominate. Okay, I want you to just dominate the Detroit Pistons, and I'm going to watch that game. I'm going to watch that game on my League Pass with intent, along with the Dallas Mavericks and the Chicago Bulls on my television, who, by the way, Bulls, I'll say this. I think you got no chance. You got no chance against the Milwaukee team that has improved. They had a slow start with Doc Rivers as their head coach, but I think the Bucks are more improved. If you do not show up and you come out with a Piston-like effort against Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard, the rant that I'm doing now and the rant that I did against Detroit, you're going to get a verbal butt whooping. And I will say, and I will keep it PG for the kids out there. 43% for the field for the Cavs, 40% shooting for the Chicago Bulls. The biggest number were the rebounds, 74, including 25 offensive rebounds for the Chicago Bulls, 39 for Cleveland, and 5 of them on the offensive glass. If that doesn't tell you the biggest difference of the game, I don't know what is. I don't know what the biggest difference of this game was. 37-29, the assist numbers in favor of Cleveland. The steals were 7-6 Cleveland. Blocks 11-8 Cleveland. Points in the paint 52-46 Bulls. The fast break points a slight edge to the Bulls. 8-7, but 74 rebounds. Golly! I'll never see that again. Evan Mobley, 25 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks, assists, and a steal. He had a monster game, shooting 11-17 for the field. Jared Allen, 11 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, a steal. Darius Garland, he played with a heavy heart, and he showed a lot of resilience, and he showed a lot of toughness. 23 points, 7-14 from 3, 8-22 for the field with 5 assists and a steal. Spida, he was quiet, and I did not expect that from him. 19 points, 5-13 for the field, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Strus, he cooled off. He cooled off from the game the night before. 11 points, 6 assists, 3 of 10 from three-point range. Off the bench, Karis LeVert, he's doing what he normally does. 14 points and 15 assists. He was great passing the basketball. Isaac Okoro is making a big impact off the bench. 13 points and 2 assists for the Bulls. It was a double-double fest. It was a double-double fest for the big three that showed up and showed out. 35 points for DeMar DeRozan, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, a block. Shooting 8-26 for the field. Vucci Main, 24 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Andre Drummond, who should just start for the rest of the season. I don't give a damn if you want to do it just for the matchups. But if I was Billy Donovan, I would put Vooch and Dre in the starting lineup for the rest of the season and ride it out with that. 17 points, 26 rebounds, 3 blocks, an assist, 8-12 from the field. Kobe White, 14 points, 12 assists, a steal, a block, 5 of 20 from the field in 50 minutes. Somebody get this man some rest. He's going to be tired by the end of the season playing 50 minutes. Golly! Free Bateem, off the bench. Billy Donovan finally plays a guy that is one of the best three-point shooters in the G League, and he balled out. 10 points. He shot 2 threes. He made both of them with 6 rebounds in 28 minutes. His plus minus was a plus 16. Tied for Kobe White for the best of the team. If that doesn't tell you to free Bateem and put this man on the court, I don't know what is. Now, for the Bulls, it was a win, a bounce back win, but I'm not satisfied. For the Cavs, I think they're going to come into Detroit really motivated and looking to take care of business and just get right back on track. But coming up next, the Sacramento Kings were looking to sweep the Denver Nuggets, but the defending NBA champions had something to say about that. And quite frankly, the Nuggets overpowered the Kings. Simple as that, and we're going to break it down when we come back on Let 'Em Know Kings United. We're back on Let 'Em Know Kings United, and quite simply, I expected the Sacramento Kings to lose this game against the reigning defending undisputed NBA champion Denver Nuggets, 117-96. And I expected this for a couple of reasons. One, the Sacramento Kings coming into this game were already up in the regular season series 3 games to nothing. 3 games to none. And as I said earlier before in this segment, the Denver Nuggets were coming in the reigning defending undisputed NBA champions. And I know Michael Malone. I know the Denver Nuggets. I know how good they are. Did you actually believe that the Sacramento Kings were going to sweep the reigning defending undisputed NBA champions in the regular season? If that would have happened, it would have been great, right? It would have been awesome. It would have been the signature moment in the Mike Brown, Monty McNair era of the Sacramento Kings. But of course that didn't happen. Why? Because number one, I expected this loss to happen because Denver is too good of a team. Denver is too good of a talent to get swept and outstaged by the Sacramento Kings in the regular season. That's number one. And number two, De'Aaron Fox did not play in this game. He was out due to injury. He had a left knee contusion. He went through pregame warm-ups. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. He did pregame warm-ups. And then the Sacramento Kings decided, I don't think this is the right move. We're going to rule De'Aaron Fox out. Save him for the biggest moments of the season. Save him for the playoff run. Better safe than sorry. I can understand that. But here's a problem. How could you make up 25 points per game in any freaking night? How could you make up for a superstar that is a two-way player that can not only score the ball and score the ball at will, but can play really, really good defense? That's what De'Aaron Fox is. He is a two-way player. He is a bona fide superstar. He already proved that in the playoffs last year. He already proved that. So how could the Sacramento Kings make up for those kinds of numbers? Here's an answer for you. They couldn't. Because the Denver Nuggets, like the champions that they are, went on a big run. They outscored the Sacramento Kings 68-22 over the next 18 minutes and 21 seconds, at one point to lead by 32. I mean, in some retrospect, you could say, you know what? Denver's too good. Denver's the champions. They're not going to get swept in the regular season series. And if you're acting this way, I get it. But here's the thing, though. I don't care if the Sacramento Kings get blown out. I don't care if the Sacramento Kings keep games close. I want to see the Sacramento Kings fight. Fight is the key word here. Fight. Regardless of the win, regardless of the loss, regardless of the outcome. I needed to see some fight from the Sacramento Kings, and unfortunately, when they got outscored 35-17, they nailed it in. They freaking quit. This team is just inconsistent right now. Not only inconsistent, but I don't like this team's mentality. I don't like it at all. And I mentioned this before. There's too many instances of this. There's too many. It is a trend that I am concerned about. Not a coincidence. Not a concern. It is a trend. Look at the losses that Sacramento's had this season. Right? Look at the Heat loss. Short-handed. Trap game. Look at the Pistons. Trap game. You couldn't beat them. Look at the Wizards. Trap game. You kept them close. You gave them hope. Look at this loss. Without De'Aaron Fox, you have no leader. None. Keegan Murray, I will say, he did his best. 21 points in this game. The only ounce of offense in this game. But you gotta demand the damn ball, Keegan. You gotta demand the damn ball. I know how talented you are. I've seen it. I've seen the amount of talent that you have. You gotta demand the ball. Domantas Sabonis, he had another double-double. That's the normal for him. But he got outplayed by Nikola Jokic. Another triple-double for this guy. 19th triple-double of the season. Jokic is the clear-cut favorite for MVP. Period, cut and dry. I'm not going to deny that. Nikola Jokic is just that damn good. Jokic is completely unreal. Nothing against Domantas Sabonis, but Nikola Jokic is just on another freaking level. And let's not forget his best buddy, Jamal Murray, who balled the hell out as well. 32 points. 32 points. He had 11 assists, 14 rebounds in just 3 quarters. The Denver Nuggets were up this much for the first 3 quarters that Michael Malone was like, you know what? I'm going to sit my starters. We're too good. We got too much of a comfortable lead. I'm going to sit my starters and make sure they get their rest. Mike Brown, he was so desperate. And the Kings were lacking so much urgency in this game. So much urgency that at one point he put Domantas Sabonis back into the game. He put the starters, some of the starters, not all of them, but some of the starters, more specifically Domantas Sabonis, in the game. I've never seen that before, but that's what happens when this team is just too inconsistent. And by the way, can we please work on effort? Can we show some effort on defense? At one point, you guys allowed Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon, I don't know what it was, you allowed one of those 2 players to simply walk into the lane, no contest, no defense. This is why Mike Brown is terrible. This is why the NBA, to some extent, is terrible. Too much offense, not a lot of defense. Can we please go back to a defensive game? Please. Please. It's just better for the game. I understand the offense. I understand the high amount scoring numbers on offense. But can we please force NBA teams to put in the work? That's it. I want a competitive game with both teams working to get those big numbers, working to get the 73s, working to get the 55s, working to get the 71, not the instant offense that just walks into the paint with no contest. I want to see some effort on both ends of the floor for every single team in the league. And speaking of effort, the Sacramento Kings did not show that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sacramento looked lifeless. They quit. They quit. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Keegan Murray, he didn't want the ball. He scored 21 points, but that's about it. He quit. The Nuggets have won their 4th straight since the All-Star break. They have dropped 3 in a row, including a home loss to the Kings back on Valentine's Day. Michael Malone said, I'm sure there are plenty of people around Denver jumping off bridges. And everybody's got to take a chill pill and relax. Take a deep breath, like I should be right now, because I'm venting my butt off. This is a good team, and when we're healthy, we're a really good team. That's been the key. This group has proven they can be anybody on any given night. Give Denver credit. Give Denver credit. They're just that damn good. Mike Brown said they're starting to getting deflections, and we started making bad decisions with the basketball. As soon as that happened, you could see how hard and pushed and ran in transition. Simply put, Mike Brown, you got outcoached again. How many times have I said that Mike Brown's that got outcoached? I think that's twice now. That's twice, or I don't know how many times I've said Mike Brown has got off coach. Maybe too many times that I could count. But, damn, the Kings, I don't blame them. I really don't blame them to some extent. Now, he did win the regular season series against Denver. I will give them that. But the lack of effort of this game and allowing Denver to just run in transition to whatever the hell they want is just absolutely unacceptable. I need to see effort, Sacramento. Effort. If you don't show me effort, you're not going to get deep in the playoffs. Actually, you don't look like a playoff team right now. I don't care if you are 33-25. You might have an over 500 record, but right now, you're looking like a play-in team, not a playoff. You know who's better than you? The Clippers. Certainly the Nuggets. Hell, Minnesota's better than you. Thunder are better than you. And I'm not afraid to say it, the Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, the winners of the trade deadline, in my opinion, are way better than the Sacramento Kings. I'm not afraid to say it with my chest, and that is exactly what I did. In order to get better, I need to see an increased effort. That's it. Learn how to show effort. That's all I want. Denver basically dominated in every single stat except the rebounds. It was 43 apiece. I'm not going to waste any of your time breaking down the stats. The Kings won the points of the paint 44-40, but it just doesn't matter if the Sacramento Kings at times are going to look lifeless on the defensive end with no contest, easy layups, easy buckets in transition. Keegan Murray was the only King that came to play. 21 points. 4 rebounds, 3 of 7 for the field in 33 minutes. He needs to demand the ball more. Chris Duarte, I commend his efforts so much. Chris Duarte off the bench really tried to give Sacramento a little bit of a spark. 18 points in 26 minutes, 3 rebounds and 2 steals, 2 blocks. Good stuff by him. Domantas Sabonis, another double-double, but let's be honest, he got outplayed by Nikola Jokic, but Nikola Jokic is just on another freaking level. 13 points, 10 rebounds for Domas. He had 7 assists and a steal. He was 5 of 14 for the field in 32 minutes. A plus-minus, a minus 26. Domas, you've been good, but you've had a bad night. You've had a bad night, but it happens. It happens. Nikola Jokic is a freaking monster. 14 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, a block in 32 minutes, shooting 5 of 9 from the field. Michael Porter Jr., this guy was lighting it up. 14 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was lighting it up. A plus-minus, a plus 38. 16 points, 4 of 6 from the three-point range with 4 assists. Off the bench, I can say anybody off the bench for the Denver Nuggets. At least the starters got a little bit of rest. And by the way, Jamal Murray, he hooped. He hooped. 32 points, 13 of 15 for the field with 6 assists, 1 steal. This guy was unstoppable. Now, this was a loss that I expected for Sacramento, but at the end of the day, they got to show better effort. They got to show better effort. And it's going to be another tough test against the Minnesota team that the Kings play well against. I need to see a better effort against Minnesota. It's just that simple. That's going to do it for today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. You can find this show on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcast, and on YouTube. Like this video if you are watching on YouTube. NJHawk40 is my YouTube channel. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave a nice comment down below. Give the show a follow on those platforms. Turn on your notifications and give the show a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. I'm your host, Skylar Weisberg. I need to go calm down. I appreciate you all for tuning in, and I will see you next time for another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United.